Bum, bum, bum. All right, we are live, which is awesome. It's good to have you here, Jay Z. For those of you guys that out there that might be watching this right now that don't know Jay Z, he is one of the head instructors at Jean-Jacques Machado HQ in LA. All-round nice guy, super coach. Okay, so all of my students know and love him, and he's a secret weapon for JJM Australia and all of our jiu-jitsu and super mat presence. So it's great to have you here. How you going?
Man, I'm doing really good. You know, like you were saying, I kind of got a little bit of the COVID hibernation hair I got going on here. So I'm a bit of a hot mess, but I feel good. You know, I'm just trying to stay busy, stay active. So
I wish I had hair like that. And happy anniversary to you and Yvonne today. So that's 27 years. Obviously, loyalty runs in your blood, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yep. That's the one thing I always tell people. If I pride myself on anything, it's the number of years with my marriage and the number of years I've been with Jean-Jacques, because it's crazy when you see these young people that are training in our school realizing that they weren't even born when I started.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind. But
yeah, well, a black belt for over 20 years. So you know that's a long time, isn't it? It's a real long time.
Yeah, I've been a black belt for about 14 years now. But yeah, it's you know, I mean, I look at it like this, and I using the marriage analogy. I mean, it's when you spend that much time in a place and you become ingrained with the people and the culture, that's home. You know, I mean, now unfortunately, I keep getting news about schools in my area that are shutting down, which is another subject. But even before that, you know, there's so many gyms and so many great instructors and more ways to expand your vision and learn more about the art. But at the end of the day, for me, it's like, you know, that's what YouTube's for. I'll watch other people, but when push comes to shove, that's my home. That's where I want to be. That's my happy place. You know, I could not imagine ever going anywhere else unless he kicks me out, you know, which sometimes I push those buttons, but no, Jean-Jacques is the best, man. He's just an amazing guy.
And for like, I mean, if you train jiu-jitsu for personal growth and all these other great reasons besides being able to arm lock and choke someone, then relationships with your coaches, your mentors, and your training partners is a huge part of it, isn't it?
Because it's trust. You know, at the end of the day, that's why even your students develop those relationships on the mat. You know, we're quick to point out, we're like, look, you know, you're going to integrate yourself in this group of people, and there might be 20 people, there might be 50 people, and they're all going to be warm and welcoming because that's the environment we create. But not all of them are going to fit with you in terms of the physicality of the training. Personality types are different. So I go, in the beginning, you're going to kind of test those waters. You're going to roll with different people, and you're just going to start to gravitate towards a select group of individuals. It's not that you don't like training with everybody, but you're going to find that there are certain people that you love training with. And a big part of it is, look what we do at the end of the day. I mean, choking somebody unconscious, you know, locking somebody's elbow, stretching somebody's shoulder to the point of tearing and trusting them not to. That's huge. You know, if I don't trust you, I don't want to train with you.
I get excited listening to you talk about jiu-jitsu. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to get back.
You and me both. And you guys are lucky because I just saw what you posted, the 15th. You're back at it. And I don't know to what level of restrictions, but just to put the gi on and get on the floor, oh my God, you know.
We'll be on the floor doing some striking for jiu-jitsu training to begin with pads and stuff, because that's allowed during phase 2. And then in phase 3 in July, when sport goes back, hopefully we'll go back completely in July. So it's exciting to be able to build the team again. And yeah, that's where we're at the moment. So I'm having more stages of excitement than sadness now, which is nice.
Yeah. Even here, I mean, the expression is the light at the end of the tunnel, because it's coming sooner than later now. So at least there's that inevitability that we're going to return. It's just, what are we returning to? Fortunately for the schools that are still standing, it'll be some recovery. But at the end of the day, man, getting people back in the doors of the schools is just I think it's gonna really help, because a lot of people are just, I mean, I get the messages all the time, they're just like, they're lost, a little lost, It's like, imagine if, training to me is, it's like food and water, it's an essential part of my diet. And imagine just saying, well, I'm not going to eat for a month, what that does to your body, not being able to train. I've never experienced anything like this, so to get back on the mat full time and teach and get back at it, it's just going to give a sense of normalcy that I currently don't have.
And that's one of the great reasons why, jiu-jitsu particularly, but martial arts in general has a great success rate of people making it their lifestyle. So it attaches close to their purpose. Like, everyone wants to achieve happiness, and you don't find it during money, but you really find it inside lifestyle design. So it becomes an identity. So I think a lot of us have been grieving because we've been losing our lifestyle and our identity, which feels like, when you don't have autonomy over that, that's a dangerous place to go. It starts to lead to depression and anxiety and all sorts of other stuff, which is cool. Hey, JJM Sydney, welcome to see you there, guys.
Nice.
So talking about the Jean-Jacques group, one of the reasons we wanted to jump online was not only so everyone could have a talk and see you, because we normally get you here twice a year, but tomorrow for the Jean-Jacques group, we actually have an online Zoom seminar that we're going to be doing at 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, which is 6 p.m. LA time for you. So about the time that we're on now, people need to start setting up their computers at home and finding a way to get at least a training partner over and ready to do some training and come with questions. And it's going to be exciting to get Jean-Jacques and all the team together in the one spot. So I think that it's actually going to be cool, and it might be something that even hangs around after this, that we might get some online seminars in the future in between physical ones.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. The technology that we have in place, Jean-Jacques has really embraced it. We're using it pretty extensively in other levels, but especially right now with what's going on, and especially for you guys, because we're pretty active here stateside. But the challenge is, Australia, when we do things, it's the middle of the night for you guys. So Jean-Jacques, both of us, we've been talking. We're like, we have to do more for Australia. So there's something very therapeutic, and I've been telling a lot of people, they're like, what do you do to feel better right now? And I'm like, put your gi on. Like, what? I'm like, gi on. Go put your gi on, tie your belt, go find a place on your living room. If you have a mat, something, put your gi on and stretch and breathe and move a little bit.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how much better it'll make you feel. So we're excited, because it's like Jean-Jacques said, he goes, tell everybody, put their gi on, get a partner. We have some students that have big stuffed animals, and that's what they're using. That's what they're using to do their techniques on. You just improvise. And let's be honest, we all have friends at the academy. If you know you're healthy, organize something, go to somebody's house so you can have training partners, and but like you said, it's something that he's really looking forward to. So I know he's hoping for a big turnout, and more importantly, some interaction. A little heads up, he will scrub through Zoom because he wants to see everybody. The thing that you don't want him to say is, man, I only see emojis. Where are the faces? Don't video off, don't have audio off. I don't want an audience. I want to interact.
Yeah.
So make sure everybody's ready to go, because it's going to be fun.
I think in the past people have been like at work pretending they're working and put their phones down so
Oh, yeah.
they could be with Jean-Jacques at
Oh,
work.
we have guys that are driving. They're driving, they're like showing a technique. The guy's asking a question. Jean-Jacques like, hey, first of all, pull over, or keep your eyes on the road. But
Yeah.
yeah, I know that, and that's why we moved it, because as you know, we were supposed to do this a day later, which turned out to be
Yeah.
your money. And
Yeah,
that was
he would have missed faces. Everyone would have been at work trying to like watch jiu-jitsu at the same time.
Yeah, which I didn't even realize how many people are back at work. In Australia, it's still here. It's hit and miss. A lot of people are still kind of grounded. So that's good to hear. But yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah. So I mean, let's put things into perspective a little bit, because I have this thing at my center that I really try and push. The fact that, like, if you want to be a champion, you need to have a champion attitude, and that's definitely one thing. You get that feeling from yourself and Jean-Jacques on the mat. There's this amazing beacon of positivity and no excuse making, right? And now's been a perfect time to practice that as well. What's the greatest lesson that you got from jiu-jitsu that you've been able to use the past 2 or 3 months while we've been in lockdown?
I mean, it's the same lesson that your first week student probably has learned. It just hasn't really sunk in yet. It's that, the pressure won't kill you. It's how you respond. I think that learning, and it's kind of part of my personal approach to training, but for a lot of people in the beginning, psychologically, the first thing I tell them to help ease them into the training is like, okay, you're going to have somebody hold you down, and everyone's different. So I tend to define jujitsu, not the individual. I say jujitsu, it's pressure, and it's unforgiving pressure. It does not care what's going on in your life. It has no sympathy towards you. It's the most honest thing you can have to help you develop as a person. And like you see children, they get pinned, and the first thing they do is get off me, and adults will even do that. They'll like kind of verbalize it. And it's like, well, guess what? They're not moving. So you have a choice. You can either give up or calm yourself, breathe, think about the leverage you can create from the situation you're in, and then you move forward. But you can't get emotional, because emotional will just wipe you out. And look for the opportunity. And that's kind of the way I this isn't I've been kind of telling people this when they ask me. I'm like, this isn't my first dance with adversity. This is probably my fourth, dealing with like a life-changing situation that can affect me in so many levels. So I have a little bit of experience with it. Doesn't mean I'm an expert, it doesn't mean that I have the answers either. But what it does mean is that I have the mindset to understand that it doesn't matter what's in front of me. It's how I respond, and looking for ways to make the most of the situation and hopefully come out stronger afterwards. It's a thing that I'm on. It's my own personal mantra. I call it leveling up, level up. Even if you see some of my social media, I hashtag level up, because everything that I went through, every time I went through adversity, when my life kind of stabilized, I always elevated, never went backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that just came from a mindset that Jean-Jacques instilled in me. I mean, he's very, very adamant. Like, he says, what you verbalize is what that's your truth. So if you come in and you say, I can't do this, well, you've accepted that you can't, because you've verbalized it, you've expressed it. So you have to make sure none of that ever filters in. And I'm a huge believer in that. People, you can call it whatever you want. People will call it prayer, the law of attraction, just the universe, energy, whatever it is. And I'm sure people like this. It's always a dark cloud. How you doing?
Mm.
Yeah, whatever, I'm fine. Or I just bought a new car. Oh man, that's awesome. I'm so happy for you. Yeah, well, the tire's flat or the radio doesn't work right. It's always something. You have to the opposite. You got to flip that around. And these are the kind of the talks that I try to have with people, a lot of people right now during this, because here stateside it's pretty tough. There are a lot of people that are down, and they don't need a lecture. Nobody likes being lectured to, especially when they're struggling.
Yeah,
But a little
it's definitely not the time for it. People do tend to be a little bit judgy at this time, but like nobody knows what everybody else is going through, what job they've lost, what financial pressures they're under, what pressures they're under at home. I think it's a real important time to just make sure that we're probably careful with our words and how we talk to people.
You want to be that person that when you're talking to them, that at least you make them feel a little bit better. You give them a little bit of hope. You're not preaching to them. You're not, and the other thing too is you're not reassuring them. And again, that goes back to that honesty. I don't know what's going to happen. I wish I could tell you that everything is going to be perfect. Sometimes because it happened to me, sometimes it'll get worse before it gets better.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you have a good support group, because that's really what we all need. And that's what jiu-jitsu gives us. We belong to this really powerful support group. And to me, these are the things that money can't buy.
Mm-hmm.
When someone joins your gym and they become indoctrinated in that environment, your fee should be 5 times what it is when you really think about what they're getting out of it. Because the moment they join, of course, they're learning great technique and it's going to help empower them and change them physically. But emotionally, you can't put a price tag on that. Because I look at the gym, like, imagine, this is going to be a little, I don't know, but imagine going on Facebook and it's all sunshine and rainbows and positive news. That's a jiu-jitsu academy. That's why, like, I go to Jean-Jacques and I train and I see you and everything is great. I go on Facebook and I'm done. I do a little bit and then I'm done, because it just it can wear on you. I want to listen to the concerns of my friends. I want to be there to listen and help guide people along. I'm certainly not there to judge. And I'm certainly the most important. I will never take ownership over another person's feelings or experiences. I think that's wrong on so many levels. Doesn't matter what it is. Just be there for them. Even if you don't say a word,
Mm-hmm.
just let somebody listen. Let somebody talk and you just listen.
You're very good at that.
That's to me, the ability to listen makes you a black belt already. I don't care if you're a new student at jiu-jitsu. If you can sit there on the mat and let somebody pour their heart out to you, even if it's something you don't agree with or something that might, I don't know, make you feel compelled to speak up, but to just remain stoic and silent and just let them talk, that ability to verbalize has such healing power. What do people always say? Thanks for listening. I'm sorry to have dumped on you. I'm sorry to have unloaded on you, because that's what it is. They feel like they've got all this stress contained and they need an outlet. I'm totally cool with being that outlet. To me, that's part of being an instructor.
And you know what? When I started jiu-jitsu and martial arts, I think one thing that we missed was having that old leadership on the mat, which is one of the reasons I really love being part of the Jean-Jacques Machado group. It's one of the reasons I really love having an older coach and mentor like yourself and Paul, be access to those things. Because one day I'm going to be hopefully 60 years old and still inside a jiu-jitsu gym, and you don't want to feel like you're not welcome there anymore because you're not a young competitor. And there's definitely a lot of value, life lessons and wisdom inside those older rolling partners, so all the maniac blue belts and purple belts out there that are beating us up, just remember that, that there's a lot of wisdom to take from those people as well. So one of the reasons I really love chatting to you as well. And I think I would love to do this more with you, Jay, too. I know my students will enjoy the chat we've had today. I won't get too much because I don't want to steal your energy from tomorrow's seminar that we're going to have with Jean-Jacques himself too. So that's going to be magic. Thanks for jumping on with me today. I know it was short notice. I was excited to get this program set up today, and it's good. I think we've got about 11 people watching at the moment. And just before I throw out, I just want to ask the 11 people that are watching now, does anybody at all have a question for myself or Professor Jay? We'll see if we get any. Jay-Zilla.
I'm going to put that on one of my geeks.
Anton, man, it's always great having you, Anton. I can't wait to see you again soon. We'll do a sneaky travel down to Airlie Beach and get you up this way soon too. Karen's here.
Hi, Karen.
If no one has any, yeah, actually, she just dyed one of our courage geese purple. All right, thanks, Jay. Again, enjoy your magical anniversary today, and I hope you have a beautiful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
You got it, brother. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone. See you soon.
All right, magic. I just ended